Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Monday the 8th of January and a happy new year to you all. In this video we'll be looking at 2 UK stocks and 2 US stocks. We're going to start by looking at IEEM, which is the Ishares Emerging Market ETF. I do own that share in my SIP, so be aware of that. Also in the UK, I'm going to be looking at Taylor Wimpey, which is the code TW Spot. That's looking good technically. In the States, we're going to look at American Eagle Outfitters, AEO. They've got figures coming out after the close today. And then we're going to look at the old tech favourite NVDA, NVDA. They've announced some tie-up with Uber. Let's look at those charts. So starting off with the iShares Emerging Market ETF, which is the code IEEM, and you can see from this weekly chart that we did find support at the 20-week moving average, and we've now moved into new high ground. It's in a solid uptrend and is at the upper boundary of that trend, very much like the S&P video I did earlier today, towards the upper boundary of the trend, but the trend is your friend, so you stay with it until we see a break to the downside. At the moment that would be a move back below 3.2, so you just stay with this stock. Momentum is positive. You can see that the RSI's actually moved to a new high, 66.11, indicative of good upside momentum. And the MACD, the short term, has actually just moved back above the longer term, which some would see as a buy signal. Moving on to the daily, and here you can see the break up. The 20 and 50 are just crossing today in a bullish golden cross formation, so that bodes well for the medium term. Again, the RSI at an all-time, well, not an all-time high, but at a very good level, 73.63, and the MACD confirms that upside momentum. On the 4-hour picture, slightly overextended from the moving averages. I think that's a further clarification that we're at the upper boundary of that trading range, so a consolidation should really be expected, but it all looks very good, and overall this IEEM looks good. Moving on to Taylor Wimpey, which has the code TW Spot on TradingView. Here we've got the weekly. You can see that we're just breaking this long-term resistance that we've been having. We have pulled back today, so that's pulled it back into the resistance, but it does look good. We've got good momentum. You can see the RSI still above 60 despite today's pullback, 61.33, and those MACD are tracking up as well. The moving averages will give support on any pullback. They're all moving up, 20, 50 and the 200. 20 and the 50 did have a golden cross way back in March last year, but it does look good. I like the picture, the kind of the flags that we've had in the break. I would expect a further break to the upside. Again on the daily, today's move is not an engulfing bearish picture because we didn't go to a new high before we pulled back. That's quite lucky. But it is a bit of a disappointment that we have got this big red candle today. Probably will get some follow through, selling tomorrow maybe, if there's no rally later today. Supports will come in from the 20-day moving average. That has crossed the 50 on the 21st of December in a bullish golden cross, and the 200 is giving support as it moves up as well. So overall, any consolidation should be used as a buying opportunity. On the 4 hour, well, actually we've got a bad tick on this trading view chart, so it's hard to see. Does look like we've come back to the support of the 20 at the 4 hour. I'll just zoom in on that so we can clarify if that is the case. Whoops, not from there. I'll do it. Let's just get. Alright, just look at the last few days. Yeah, we are finding support at that 20-day 208 spot 18. Okay, moving over to the States, American Eagle Outfitters, which has the code AEO, they're coming out with figures today. You can see it's been quite a volatile stock. We're at the upper boundary of the trading range. Moving averages are looking good again. We're just getting a golden cross as the 20 crosses the 200. It did cross the 50 and a golden cross back in December. So all looking good. Had a pullback for a couple of weeks. Obviously last week going into the figures today. Looks like the good momentum should hold this share. The RSI 69.14 and the MACD as well are all moving up above zero. Looking at the daily, you can see that we've pulled back to the 20-day moving average. This should now give support. It's at 18.19. Spot level is 18.06. So we're marginally below it, but it's still moving up, so will still be supportive. Below there we've got the 50, which is all the way down at 15.89. You can see that we've lost some upside momentum on American Eagle. It is drifting down, but it still is above 50, presently 55.31. And likewise the MACD showing that slight loss of upside momentum as the short term is now moving down below the longer term. Some would see that as a sell signal, but given that we're at the support, I would just wait and see. And finally on the 4 hour, we've fallen through the support of the 20 at the 4 hour. Now we're finding support at the 50. Again, we've lost upside momentum. 44.76 on the RSI. MACD tracking down. It looks like these figures that are coming out today are going to be key for the progression of to any upside progression. Those figures need to be good. This stock needs to move in the next couple of days to the upside, or the downside momentum will take it below the supports of the moving averages. And finally, moving on to NVIDIA, very positive last week, bounced from the 20 week moving average, got slight resistance coming in from November, December. Good momentum. The RSI has ticked back up 68.13, and the MACD short term is moving back up to the longer term. On the daily, you can see that we did move down below the moving averages. We found support, created a slight uptrend, broke to the upside above the moving averages. We're now at this resistance. I believe that we're going to get a crossover of the 20 of the 50, a golden cross. That will happen towards the end of this week, and that should give the push to break the resistance and move into new high ground. You can see that momentum has returned. Upside momentum is now positive. RSI 67.7 in a good uptrend, and likewise the MACD short term has moved back above zero. The longer term is marginally below zero, but will move back above tomorrow, and so it all looks good for a break of the resistance. And on the 4 hour, you can see the break up. We didn't get a golden cross 2050. 50 was still moving down, but they will be supportive as they will be both moving up. RSI again positive, and MACD positive as well. So thanks for watching this video. I know when I look at stocks I rush through them, perhaps too quick for some of you, but you can always rewind the video and have a closer look at the chart behind me, and you should get the general trend of what I'm saying. Please remember, these videos are for information only and are not an investment recommendation.